Hi everyone, welcome to our final lesson, lesson 5 of series 2, the Maple Leaf Rag. In this lesson, you'll be hearing the full version of the Maple Leaf Rag, and you will be identifying the themes in the full version. The version that you've learned in series 2, this version here, is a simplified version of the first theme found in the full Maple Leaf Rag. So this, if we were to break down the structure of the piece and we would assign letters with A, B, and so on, we already know that there are four sections in Maple Leaf Rag. So there's A, B, C, and D. And you learned section A, a simplified version of that. That's what this is. Each section or theme is repeated in this version. So this is the unsimplified version of what you learned here. And it has a lot more use of octaves. It moves fast over a large part of the keyboard, and you'll see that today. I did not do the repeats, so each section A, B, C, and D are each repeated, and so I did not do those repeats because that's that would make it kind of long to listen to, even though it's kind of fun. It's a lot to listen to all at once. So what I'm going to be doing is playing it, and then we're going to go over the differences in the different themes. See if you can identify those. So it has the 4 themes, and the first theme is actually repeated in the middle of the piece. So that makes it kind of fun to be listening for when that section A is repeated. I sketched out the beginning motif of each theme. The first thing we'd be able to see is that the differences in rhythm for the beginning parts of these themes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of these is identical, and I'm curious to see if you can tell which one is. So this one, you see it starts with a dotted quarter. This one, these 3 start with a rest, an 8th note rest, and then this one starts with a regular quarter note. So it starts out with straight time, and then it gets some syncopation later on. This one has a lot of syncopation early on with the dotted quarter, and then this tie here, and so forth. So these 2 are clearly different from the others. These 3 are very similar, and these 2 are different. So you can probably see that and appreciate that right away, that it's going to sound different when you hear it on the piano. This one, these 3, 2 of them are the same. So it's going to, in this case, the rhythms are actually quite similar, and it's going to depend on the notes. So 2 of these, the notes are identical, and 1 is different. So, and you can probably see it already, but you see this one, it's going way up off the staff. So most of these are all contained within the staff. All the notes are within the staff, and then it goes up higher. So if you can see that this one and this one actually are the same. So section A is obviously going to be at the beginning, and this is what you learned. You learned it in a different key. This is in G, so the notes are a little bit different. But it'll be the same melody as yours that you learned. And that's going to come through 2 times in what I'm going to play today. And then it goes up higher. And so the rhythm is, for the most part, it's the same, but it's going to sound a lot different because you're going up really high and then coming down. And so you'll hear that theme. And then it goes to more straight time. it sounds kind of like a march, so that you should be able to hear that. And then this one is a very unique sound, but it's real heavy on the syncopation here, and then going on to straight time with these eighth notes. So we're going to listen, and you can watch me as well. You'll see my hands playing this piece here, the Maple Leaf Rag portion. You'll hear me play this, and without the repeats. And then we'll go back and I'll play I'll play these parts here and see if you can identify that. Okay, so let's move over to the keyboard now. So now that you've heard the Maple Leaf Rag in full, I wanted to go over some of these motifs that we had talked about at the beginning and see if we can identify them now. So that in that beginning one, the part that you learned, the section A, I'm just going to play the leading line on this. So if you can see here, and then it repeats. Okay, so section A is this one, and then we go to part 2. Okay, so you hear that, how that's higher. It's a lot higher. So we started out, then this one goes. So you hear how it's kind of walking down. It's going up really high, much higher than down here. Then it goes up here. So did you hear how it started really high and was walking down? It's a subtle difference, but here it has a sharp here in the C sharp, and then it becomes a C natural. So it gives it a real neat walking down sound. There's C sharp, and then the C natural. So that walked from way up here to down here. So it gives it a slightly different sound with just the leading line, but when you hear it played in full, it sounds really different from the beginning. Then we move on to, so if you recall, after this second part, we go. Hear the part A again. So that was after that second part. And then we go to the third part, which is up here. So the third part has the has a dotted quarter note and then some ties there. So that gives that a certain sound. It kind of has a signal note. So you hear how that one was really different from the interesting thing about this motif is it has the syncopation here with the dotted quarter and then the ties in the eighth notes, and then it repeats that, and then it has a straight time here, which gives it a really neat sound. So we have the syncopation here, straight time. Okay, so that was that one. Then we come to our last one, the one that you saw where I had to turn the page. And that one starts out, it's like a march, so it has these quarter notes. And that gives it a really different sound. So you end with the last one, the last measure of the third part. So you hear the syncopation there, but it starts out with quarter notes. And it has that strong driving quarter, four quarter notes like a march, and then it breaks off into the syncopation. The other neat thing that I love about ragtime is that it gives, it allows you to have these signaling notes to kind of let the person know something new is coming. So like after the first movement, so you heard that this note, and then I moved into the actual part. So there's a signal note there, and then there's a signal note. Most of the sections have signal notes that will let you know something new is coming. So when we go into the third part, so we go. So it's just a single octave. So we go. So you can kind of hold it for dramatic effect there. And the same thing, there's a little bit more subdued signal note here before the final part. It's just a single note. It's not an octave or a chord or anything, but it kind of lets you know something new is coming. Okay, so now that we've gone over all of the different beginning motifs for the themes of Maple Leaf Rag, I just wanted to go over one last time so we can write out the actual structure of the themes. So the first thing I want to do is I want you to convince you that this is the same thing that you learned So it is a different key. You learned yours in F, and my version is in G, so it does sound a little bit different, but I just want you to hear the similarities. And then here's mine. Okay, and so it's very, very similar. So anyway, we already know that the beginning part, the part that you learned, is section A. That's A. Then we'll go on to B. Okay, so that's this one. Okay, so that's B. One way that you might see the structure of this written, if you ever go on to pursue more theory and analysis in music, you might see it, because of the repeats, you might see it as A, A, B, B, like that. So then we'll go on to the next section. So I'll end the B section. What's that? That is back to A. And this one is not repeated. So it's A, A, B, B, or A, B, A, and then back to A one time. After we play the A, then we go, and it's going to be the C. Okay, so that is done 2 times. So we'll do it both ways here. And then we go on to the final section. I'll do the last part of section C. Okay, so that is section D, done 2 times. So either of these ways of writing out the structure, A, B, A, C, D, or A, A, B, B, A, C, C, D, D. So that is, these are the different things that make ragtime really special, and I hope that maybe you might go back and play the video. I play the full arrangement of this and be listening for those different themes that are coming through. Now that we've explored and identified the different themes in the Maple Leaf Rag, I wanted to provide some short snippets of the first section of Scott Joplin's other 2 famous hits, The Entertainer and Pineapple Rag. And I want to just play through the first section without the repeats, so that in case you don't get a chance to hear the links at the end of this video, you'll at least have heard the first part of it. So hopefully you'll be able to recognize it if you hear it in the future. I've played and enjoyed The Entertainer for many years. It was one of the first unsimplified things that I learned during my piano studies. But I am a bit out of practice on this one. So I hope you'll still be able to get an idea of how it goes. For the Pineapple Rag, I only just discovered it yesterday and was playing it just over the course of the morning when I made this recording. I was researching things for this series and discovered that Pineapple Rag was one of the top 3, and so I was curious and looked into it, and I'm glad I did, because it's just possible that this might be my favorite out of all 3. So I'm going to have a lot of fun learning how all the different sections go on this one. But I think I mastered the first section well enough so that you'll be able to get an idea how it goes. And I am playing it just a bit slower than it was probably intended. But keep in mind that Scott Joplin did say that his things were to be played on the slower side. But then you also have to keep in mind that, most of his things had 16th notes, so, it was fast to begin with, and then, you slow it down and it's still going to sound fast. So these two video clips we're going to play after this are only the first section with no repeats, intended to give you a quick idea of what each one sounds like. But I will still post links to all three pieces, and I'll post those links as this video is coming to a close. And so you'll be able to visit those links if you want to hear the full version, all the different themes and repeats, and to hear it the way it was meant to be played. And I also wanted to let you know that there are simplified versions of the Entertainer and Pineapple Rag. You've already learned the Maple Leaf Rag simplified version, but there are simplified versions of the other two. And so for those of you taking virtual lessons, if you're interested in those, we'll be able to look into that. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed Series 2 on the Maple Leaf Rag. As we say goodbye to this wonderful piece, I wanted to introduce Series 3. I'm going to be teaching next on the contemporary chordal method. This is actually, it's a different approach to music. You can do contemporary pieces or folk tunes, things like that. You can't really do classical music or ragtime this way, but it's good for popular pieces. What it involves is the right hand playing the melody, and that's what's shown. So you have the treble clef showing the melody, and then you have these things here that look like guitar chords up above the staff, and the left hand is playing those chords. So it's kind of like learning to play the guitar on piano. And it's a fun thing to learn that makes you a little more versatile at the piano. So that's what we'll be covering next, and you'll be hearing this piece, Blow the Candles Out, which is an American folk tune. Hope to see you then.